Baker Daniil Kutanin died of dystrophy in besieged Leningrad. He did not take a single crumb of bread despite thousands of loaves passing through his hands. Professional, silent mourners attended the funerals of any wealthy deceased in Victorian England, 1896. Their duties were simple: to silently and sorrowfully stand at the entrance to the house, holding a staff with a bow. Passers-by, seeing the silent mourners, would be overcome with the somber atmosphere of the funeral. Ella Harper earned $200 a week as a star in a traveling freak show in the 1880s, born with a rare disease that caused her knees to bend backward. Jewish women moments before facing execution in the ghetto. Latvia, 1941. The boldest necklines of the 1950s. Saving Private Donkey. A French Legion soldier during the Algerian War carries a wounded donkey back to base. 1958. The donkey survived and became the base's mascot, named Bambi. James Naismith. Canadian-American inventor of basketball with his wife, 1928. Peaky Blinders. Members of a gang that terrorized Birmingham, 1903. Archduke Franz Ferdinand and his wife arrive in Sarajevo, 1914. Masonic Lodge Meeting, USA, Arizona, 1897. A small black girl in a so-called human zoo in Brussels, Belgium, 1958, a grim reminder of the colonialism and racism of that era. A beggar runs after the carriage of British King George V, 1920. Poverty drives the man so much that he competes with the royal horses in speed. Between 1932 and 1972, the U.S. Public Health Service conducted a study in which 399 African Americans were intentionally infected with syphilis. Railroad bridge built entirely from stacked logs, Oregon, 1903. This is a Soviet woman who lost 7 sons during World War II. Children build an improvised Berlin Wall, West Berlin, October 1961. During World War II, Germans built a fake airfield in occupied Holland to divert attention. All structures and equipment were made from wood and plywood. Construction was carried out in the strictest secrecy until a British bomber flew over the fake airfield and dropped a wooden bomb on it. It's unknown if the Germans appreciated British humor, but they got the hint. The construction was halted. Arrested black protesters, USA, 1959. Segregation laws forbade them from eating in white establishments. This 1959 photo captures the participants of the famous Dyatlov Pass expedition heading into the snowy mist. It is their last known photograph before the tragic events, which remain one of the most mysterious mysteries of the 20th century. The floating church of St. Nicholas the Wonder Worker, the BBD. The only ship in the Russian Empire with a fully functional Orthodox church on board, 1910s. A competition for the most elegant cigarette smoking, Paris, 1935. French resistance members in Cherbourg shaving the heads of women who collaborated with the Nazis, World War II. Lifeboat with Titanic survivors, 1912. Marilyn Lovell, wife of Apollo 13 commander, reads Front Page News, 1970. The last Mexican grizzly bear is shown to the public, Mexico, 1954. Darwin made lists of pros and cons for marriage before his wedding. The pros list included constant companion and better than a dog. The cons list included having to visit relatives and less money to buy books. Let's make friends. A speech by Adolf Hitler to the world community, February 29, 1936. The survival record in open sea after a shipwreck was set by Chinese man Pan Lian after a German submarine sank the English merchant ship where Pan worked as a steward. He spent 133 days on a wooden raft, surviving by catching fish, collecting rainwater, drinking bird blood, and even killing a shark. The democratically elected president Salvador Allende moments before his death during a military coup at the presidential palace, September 11, 1973, Santiago, Chile. A pickup truck speeds away from the eruption of Mount Pinatubo, Philippines, 1990. King George VI of Great Britain was a very serious man, 1938. It turned out that the American command had planned to drop not 2, but 15 nuclear bombs on Japan, but the unexpected Japanese decision to surrender on August 15, 1945, halted the shipment of plutonium that was already on its way to Japan. Tragic shot taken during a stunt by airshow performer Todd Green. He fell from the wing of a plane and died. USA, 2011. People brought their dogs to be euthanized as they were unable to pay the increased pet tax. Berlin, 1926. The longest recorded work career, Japanese man Shigesio Izumi worked 98 years on a beet plantation, retiring at 105. A captured moth, New York, 1986. Pro-Khomeini militia fighters patrol the streets looking for the Arab population, Khorramshahr, Iran, 1979. A girl, descendant of slaves, lives on a plantation in a primitive hut with newspapers for wallpaper, Alabama, 1937. During the mass riots of autumn 2006, demonstrators managed to start an T-34-85 tank placed on display in the city center and attempted to break through the police positions with it. The evolution of the women's swimsuit from 1875 to 1927. In the 1940s, women were allowed to smoke in maternity wards. Paris, France, 1943. Amidst the height of World War II, a researcher at the Museum of Natural History examines an ancient Peruvian mummy, proving that science endures even during the occupation. Most of our knowledge about hypothermia comes from horrific human experiments conducted in Nazi Germany. In the psychiatric clinic where I was treated, one man thought he was Napoleon and another, San Martin. No one believed me that I was Maradona. Diego Maradona, 1994. Yugoslavia's air defense forces shoot at NATO aircraft, Belgrade, 1999. Joseph Stalin smiles after signing the non-aggression pact between Germany and the Soviet Union, 1939. In the USSR, a tax on childlessness existed from November 1941, which amounted to 6% of the salary. A Man Among Giant Plants on Maui Island, Hawaii, 1924. Judge of an ankle competition organized by the women's section of the British Railways Social Club at Oxford, 1949. The Maori chief Tomika Temutu wore a moko tattoo, which was applied using a chisel made from albatross bone. The moko displayed his battles, enemies, wounds, status, occupation, and marriages, 1875. View of the epicenter of a nuclear explosion 2 seconds after the blast, Kazakhstan, 1949. In 1939, the British police deported Jews who had left Czechoslovakia after its occupation by Nazi Germany. Jews were denied residence in the UK due to incorrect documentation. This photograph, which you see on your screen, later became known as deportation to death and In the apartment of the victim, found with multiple stab wounds, serial killer William Hirons left a message on the wall written in red lipstick: "Please catch me before I kill again. I can't control myself." Nuns at a casino at slot machines, Australia, 1971. Women in wooden swimsuits designed to help them float better, 1929. Auschwitz, 1944. German officers and guards have fun while countless victims are killed and cremated daily in the nearby death camp. Vibrating bra for breast strengthening, 1971. Many women were convinced of its effectiveness. The wife of the commandant of the German concentration camps, Buchenwald and Majdanek, was most famous for her obsession with leather products made from human skin. She particularly liked skin with tattoos, from which, by her orders, gloves, lampshades, and bookbindings were made. After the war, she was sentenced to life imprisonment. Woman snatches matches from a monk attempting self-immolation, Seoul, South Korea, 1963. American prisoners of war liberated from a Japanese concentration camp, Philippines, 1945. Those saved by Oskar Schindler and their children at his grave in the Catholic cemetery on Mount Zion in Jerusalem, 1993. The bow of the Titanic on the bottom of the Atlantic, National Geographic Magazine Archive, 1991. Nathaniel Morgan pulls a pig from a container located in a nuclear test zone in Nevada, 1957. Mad dictator Idi Amin declares a one-day war on the United States, only to declare himself the winner the next day. Uganda, 1975. During his rule, up to 500,000 people were victims of repression, with at least 2,000 of his own citizens killed personally by the president. A failed assassination attempt on Hitler occurred in 1944 during a flight from Prussia to Berlin. He was given explosives disguised as cognac, but they did not detonate and the plane landed safely. Pearl Harbor, 1941. Albanians flee to Italy in March 1991. Western Europe learned what a mass influx of refugees was for the first time in many years. At that time, more than 20,000 Albanians unexpectedly arrived at the Italian port of Brindisi. WWE veteran playing guitar to survive, Japan, 1951. The Witch's Throne, a torture device for women accused of witchcraft. It is a chair with spikes and a heated seat. In 1693, Marina Vukanek spent 11 days on it. She went mad and died without confessing guilt. Cossacks trained to overcome obstacles on horseback, 1910. A men's urinal on the streets of France, 1920s. Post-apocalyptic wedding. Students protest environmental pollution, USSR, 1989. Photo of the Sphinx in the late 1800s, taken from a hot air balloon still partially buried in sand. One of the first surgical procedures using ether as an anesthetic, 1850s. Thousands of Union and Confederate Civil War veterans gathered to honor the memory of the fallen, 1913. A man runs with a cart full of diapers during the Los Angeles riots, 1992. How women's swimsuits have changed. First day of black student Dorothy Counts at Harry Harding High School, USA, 1957. She was one of the first black students admitted but withdrew after only 4 days due to harassment. Before Hitler arrived in Paris, the French cut all the cables of the Eiffel Tower elevators. When the Führer wanted to go up, the elevator didn't work. He would have had to walk, so he refused. Parisians proudly say that Hitler conquered France, but the Eiffel Tower was beyond his reach. A man stole a military tank from the U.S. Army and drove it on the highway in San Diego, USA, 1995. Parisian children enjoying the thrilling climax of a puppet show of St. George and the Dragon, 1963. In 1925, Coca-Cola released a souvenir keychain in the shape of a swastika. Before the Nazis, the swastika in the US, as in India, symbolized good luck. Prohibition, men pouring out whiskey, USA, 1931. An American soldier reads a newspaper with news about victory in Europe Day to German prisoners of war, New York, 1945. In 1913, 19-year-old student Terry Williams invented mascara by mixing soot with Vaseline. The Death Wall in Rajkot, India, 1970s. One of the last indigenous Tasmanians exterminated by British settlers, 1869. U.S. military malaria medicine advertisement during World War II, Papua New Guinea, 1940s. Malaria, spread by a specific type of mosquito. A young fan at an Elvis Presley concert, Philadelphia, USA, 1957. Lumberjacks posing on a giant stump of a sequoia known as Mark Twain in California, USA, 1891. The last known living Barbary lion, shot in the Moroccan Atlas Mountains in 1922, now extinct in the wild. Unit 731, a conveyor belt of death. A special unit of the Japanese armed forces conducted biological weapons research, experimenting on live humans to determine how long a person could survive under various conditions, such as boiling water, dehydration, starvation, frostbite, and electric shock. Hippo Phoebe and her baby refusing to pose for the camera at the Bronx Zoo, 1967. A Rough Morning, 1954. Record photos of child prisoners in the German concentration camp Auschwitz, 1942. Lieutenant William Spreckley of the British Armed Forces is hospitalized in January 1917 with a shrapnel head wound and leaves Sir Harold Gillis's clinic in October 1920 with a significantly corrected appearance. NDBD. Europeans after a tiger hunt, India, 1900s. Filming Titanic, 1997. USA, 1950s. FBI fingerprint storage. The real Inglourious Bastards. After World War I, most Nazis responsible for the Holocaust escaped punishment, but this group of Jewish men tracked them down for years across different continents and carried out vigilante justice on several hundred Nazis. If this video brought a smile or maybe even some anger, share your opinion in the comments. Stay locked in for the upcoming part. Remember to smash that like button and subscribe for more. Goodbye.